to my ASMR video about IPA. Today I'm going to teach a very simple, just kind of overview about IPA symbols and phonetics. Shout out to Glossami Nails for these beautiful nails on I have today. They come with a trial nail and application and removal guide and nail glue, as well as sticky little stickers that you can stick on for your nails. This is about the third time I've worn these, so they're reusable, and they come with wipes and everything you'll need. They also come with stickers. I've used up most of these stickers, so and it's different for every set. So to get started, I have an IPA chart here and a vowel chart. So I will just kind of start from left to right. I'm also only going to cover phonemes or sounds that are in the English phoneme pool or set. So I also have no licensure or anything. I'm just a student. So, okay. So our first sound that we will cover, actually two sounds, are P and B. These are both bilabial. I'm going to switch to the highlighter. They're both bilabial plosives. So that just means you use both of your lips and you build up pressure before producing the sound. So P and B. The next one is T, T, and D. And the difference between these as well is as well as P and B is the voicing. So the ones on the left all have all are voiceless or unvoiced consonants, so they do not require use of your vocal folds when producing. And the ones on the right etc. do require using your vocal folds. So that being said, we have P, B, T, D, and T and D are alveolar plosives. So if you don't know these anatomical terms, that's all right. But it's just the placement of the like where your tongue meets a certain thing, or where your articulators are placed. The next one, we don't really do these ones in English. For my knowledge, I'm not aware of English using retroflex t and d. But retroflex usually means like your tongue is curving back whenever you're producing it. So I'm sure there are languages out there that use those. Same with these. In English, we use the velar plosives k and g quite often in words like cat and goat. And they are, you might have noticed that the symbols are not always written as they are spelled in words. So k in cat is not a C, but rather it's this K looking symbol in IPA. And as for, I'm trying to figure out, because some charts are a little bit different, and handwriting also can vary how they look. So these ones, I believe we also do not use in English. However, this question mark looking guy is a glottal plosive, and we actually use it quite a bit in English. It's kind of for example, like in kitten, and if we don't say kitten, but usually we say like kitten, that kind of sound. So kitten or mitten, it's not like a sound that we necessarily write out very well in English. It's kind of just understood that that's how we pronounce it. It's called the glottal. It's called a glottal stop because it's under this plosive category, and plosives are also called stops. So now we have the nasals, which is pretty much written everywhere in English. If you have an M written like that, it's most likely just going to be pronounced And it's a nasal because we're closing our oral passageway, our mouth, and letting the air escape through our nose. There is also a labiodental nasal that I'm not quite sure how that would be pronounced. So I guess that one is not really an English, common English sound. An alveolar nasal, we have N because we're placing our tongue onto our alveolar ridge. And same thing as M, all these nasals are closing off our oral passageways. So then this one is not really written in or spoken in English as well as this one, although we do use that one, and it's pronounced like ing, just without the I. So ing, that kind of ng sound, is just written in one symbol as and then that last symbol we don't really do in the English language either. The next one that we produce in English is this one, I suppose. the way I was taught actually is to write it like this, because this one is the Spanish trill sound. So like, oh, my bad. It's actually down here. So I'll go over that later. This is the Spanish. I can't do it quietly, but so it's like that trilling sound that you hear in other languages. Then the next one, this one as well, I think is kind of like a ha, but I can't produce that well as I'm a native English speaker. The next one produced in English is this one, and you may not recognize it because it is a alveolar flap or alveolar tap, and it's produced by like in the word water, that kind of d sound that's almost like a D, but it just barely, your tongue just barely taps the roof of your mouth. It is like water, not water or water. It's like water. So that's a little trivia question. So what is the alveolar tap? And it's that sound. Next, in English, we have f and v. These are just written pretty much how we write them in most words. Sometimes you might see PH or GH, like in laugh or philosophy. But the phonetic symbol for it is this. And then V, it's usually written just as a V like that. For our dental fricatives, which, by the way, fricative just means air is passing through a kind of restricted or narrowed passage. So, like, it's just air passing through your lips and your lower lip and upper teeth. So this one that looks like a theta is th. So like in thing or I'm trying to think of other words. Thought. And then we have our voiced version of it, which is the, like in the and the. Sorry, that's the same word. Like the and this. So that will be voiced, and it might be hard to tell, but if you say it out loud, then you can kind of feel the difference. Next, we have s and z. Those are pretty straightforward as well. Those are just alveolar fricatives. Then our post-velar fricatives are sh and zh. Sh is oftenly written as sh. Sh is written as sh. And zh is written as, like, in the word. I don't know if you can see that well. Like beige, or I don't know how to spell rouge. That's rogue. I don't know. And like beige, that zh is symbol. So, next we have our glottal fricative, which is just like it is written in English. So pretty straightforward. And earlier I started to talk about this This is just the regular R that we see at the beginning of sentence or syllables. So like red and run. It's at the beginning of syllables because it'll be a different sound whenever it's at the end of a syllable. Kind of. And this is a alveolar approximant because it can be produced in multiple ways. There's the bunched R, which is your tongue is kind of bunched up in the back of your mouth. And then there's the I want to say retroflex, but that's a different one. The R where your tongue comes up to your alveolar ridge, which I believe is less common in English speakers. Then we have our palatal approximant, which is always comes before a vowel and cannot be in consonant clusters. So you have to have like a vowel in front of it, like ah, for example, then it would be pronounced ya, or yo, or ye. So that's an interesting one to have to think about when you're transcribing IPA. Then we have our alveolar lateral approximant, O, which is just pretty much written in English how it sounds. Trying to think. I think these ones are, I know a language that has these in it, but not English. Okay, yeah, I think that's all for the consonants for now. I'm noticing that this chart does not have affricates, so I might go over those right here because we have a few affricates and they are and which are important because English has a lot of them. I use them a lot. And this one is pronounced j, so like in judge. Judge has two of them. And journey and pretty much a lot of things that have like a G in it that's not pronounced G. Like in judge. And this one is the unvoiced version of it. Ch. So this will be in like chair and chore starts with CH. I'm surprised I didn't have it in the chart. I didn't notice that. And then we have, I'm not surprised it didn't have these in the chart, but there's syllabic L and syllabic N, which just make it like, for example, little or little has that syllabic L at the end, little, turns that L into a syllable. And same with syllabic N. It can be in like beaten, that last N sound. It turns the N into a syllable rather than following another vowel. Okay. I'm going to erase these. Then I'm a little bit less familiar with the vowel chart because when I am learning about speech therapy, we don't tend to find many kids with vowel errors or vowel processes. So forgive me if I'm not too sure about what I'm saying. So I'll go with the ones that I am sure of, and like this one right here is E, like the sound in we or 3. It's that closed front vowel. And this one is, this one is I, like in big or fridge. It has slightly more mid, like this is tongue placement, or sorry, your tongue placement is slightly more central, and it's a little bit more open than this one. So the next one is, I will go with this one, and it's kind of like a, or not a, sorry, like a, almost like the letter A, but just in one sound. So like apron or able. So that's that one. And this one is like in the in epsilon or egg. And we have this one, which is written, it's kind of pretty. Looks like a logo or something. But I think it's also in some other languages. And it's pronounced ah, like in at or apple. And let's see, I think we'll go with this one next. It is the ah sound, so it's completely open in front. So ah, like in hot or brought. Well, that might be a little bit darker, but hot or caught. And I'm not sure about these, honestly. But I do know that this one is a schwa, like that. Why is it not writing? Schwa. Schwa. And it's pronounced like so it's not very easy to pick out in English because it's kind of a vague, like, central sound. Like, as you can see on the chart, it is most central and also just between closed and open. So it's like in the word, let's think. I can't really think of one, even though there are so many. I'll think of one and do some tapping. Like in the word under, except that one is actually a caret. It's written like this because there are two different symbols for, there's schwa, which is written like this. Sorry, bad handwriting. And then when it's stressed and you have the emphasis on that syllable, it's written as a caret. So like under or above. I think in the word above, we have both a caret and a schwa. So like above. This is how it would be written. Above. So yeah, that's schwa and caret. Then we have, oh, I see. Caret was right here. I just didn't see that. Caret's right there. And then we have we have like hook, or I can't think of any other words, but hook, and then this one is an oo, so like hoop or loop, and then this one is an O, like in the letter O, the name of the letter O, like over or orange. And we talked about caret, and this is just a slightly darker version. I don't know if you would call it that, of the O, but I'll explain that later whenever we see diphthongs. And then, oh my goodness, I just realized I messed up, because this is actually a vowel that we see in a lot of diphthongs, but it's kind of pronounced like ah, whereas this one these, well, I guess I wasn't wrong. They're both kind of pronounced like ah, but one is just more front and one is more back. So like in the word hot, earlier I said that this was for like the word hot, but hot is in the back more. So this one is more frontal, and I'll show you that in a second. So I've written out, well, I wrote out all of them, but I'll show you. So we have some diphthongs here. Yep. We have I, as in like island and idle and a lot of other words. And this one is like ow, as in like how or hour. How or hour. I also think of the Chinese word how, like that's a how, but that's besides the point. Then we have oi, like as in boy or toy, and this also shows a form of that o that kind of changes based on the context of the word or of the syllable. So also all of these diphthongs have this little umbrella guy over them that's just showing that they're diphthongs and not independent vowels. Because if you wrote them without this, then it would be like more separate and not actually connected. We talked about schwa and carrot, but here is schwar, and I don't know what this is called, but I can't remember, but it's the same thing, just with like an R sound. So these are all vocalic R's, because like I said earlier, we have this, which can be said at the beginning of a word, like red, but a word like air or anything with an R that is after a vowel, it's going to be a vocalic R. So we have like this is schwar, so it's pronounced like and herb with stress, so like early has that and for sure it would be like also like per for this one, for stress, per, or I can't think of any other words besides some random weird words, like picture, that's a good one, for schwar. Picture ends in a schwar. But then we also have like ear. So just as in the word ear or near or dear. Yeah, which it can get confusing because that is actually I, like the I sound, but because it's followed by a vocalic R, it's actually ear. And then we have like air, like the word air, like as an are, like we are doing this, or there's also like scar, or anything that has, you know, an A and an R, basically. A-R-E. That's gonna be this vocalic R. Then we have or, as in like O-R, sorry, O-R, or O-R-E, or chore, or anything kind of with that O-R-E in it. It will usually be this vocalic R. And then we have which I have a hard time figuring out examples for that. Like newer. I think that would be correct, but don't write that down. So yeah. I think, oh yeah, we also have like ire, as in like fire, or dire, or just the word ire, as in anger. Then we have hour, as in like, might have misspoken earlier. I don't know. R, or, air, or, What is this? This was, yeah, this was air. And then this is ire, and this is hour. That's right. I said it, I just got myself confused. So hour. And you'll see the diphthong markings, but has a vocalic R, or it is a vocalic R because it's followed by this specific vowel. So yeah. I think that is all for today. I'll bring it back up to here. If you would like to see a video of me maybe spelling out some words in IPA, like practice, or like writing like I did earlier, like writing out like doing things like this, so really putting it into use, then let me know in the comments, or you can like the video, and I will see you next time. That's hard. It changes when you have the sound after that. So I'm inclined to say this, but I know sometimes there are some weird rules about that I'll have to brush up on, because if a vowel precedes this, it can kind of get weird. So it could even be like this. I don't know. I can't remember. And then our oo sound is like yeah. This is phonetic transcription brackets. So yeah, thank you. And I'll see you later.